Hello and welcome back if you're a returning viewer to the channel. WB here, and in this video what I want to do is show you how you can leverage Cloud PCs to deploy Windows 11 inside of your modern environments. If you like what you see on the channel, be sure to subscribe, click the notification bell, like, share, comments are always welcome, and check out that description below for a link to our community Discord server. It's time, everybody. Let's go. In this demonstration, I want to show you how you can deploy Windows 11 using the Windows 365 subscription to create a Cloud PC. Now, if you want to try this at home and you do happen to have your own tenant set up, you can always choose this try 1 month free and walk through the setup of attaching it to your tenant, and it will give you a full month to utilize this in practice. So I encourage you, especially if you're taking something like the MD 102 exam, right? The Microsoft 365 Endpoint Administrator Associate certification exam, you'll definitely want to have some hands-on. So let's go ahead. I have actually finished this part of it, and once you do, you'll actually see this inside of your subscriptions inside of the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. So if you log into the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, all right, and we're going to be down here under licenses. All right, when we look at license, we'll see all of the different licenses that we have access to, and the one that we'll see right here is your Windows 365 business subscription, right? So we have 2 virtual CPUs, 8 gigs of RAM, and 128 gig drive, right? So let's go ahead, let's select that. And what we have to do is we have to assign this license. And I'm going to assign it to my account here. And we'll assign that license. Now, as a part of assigning that license, you will see that it's going to create the Cloud PC instance. We're not ready to actually log into it yet because it has to generate that, and then we'll come back and we'll even take a look at Intune, right? So if we're logging into Intune, we go to Devices, and we go to Windows 365, we can actually onboard these devices into Microsoft Intune for further management. But remember, the primary purpose of this and demonstration of this is how we can deploy Windows 11 via the Windows 365 subscription and the creation of a Cloud PC. So we're going to go ahead, we'll let this generate and build the Cloud PC, and then I'm going to show you how you can log in and access it. And here we are, everybody. Took a little bit to provision here, but now we can see that there's a lot of different things that we can do. We've got some global actions here. We could reset, restore, rename. We could check our connections. We can also view the details. So you can see here is our Cloud PC. So just like I had mentioned, remember that the Windows Business, or excuse me, I'm sorry, Windows 365, right? That is one half of the coin that allows you to provision Cloud PCs, right? That's the other half of the coin. And the great thing about this is that we don't need any of the hardware. And the difference between deploying this and AVD is in Azure Virtual Desktop, we determine what the scalability is going to be. We also get the multi-user sessions, right, that we don't get here in Cloud PC, but there's some configuration that we have to do, right? If you've looked at the demonstration, we've got to create a host pool. We've got to add our virtual machines to the host pool. Create application groups if we want to, right? Create that very first user account that we're going to assign to it, which is the local virtual machine administrator. So there's a lot of things that we have to do to put it in place. It does scale up, and again, it gives us this multi-user session. But if you need to deploy Windows 11 and you need a quick way to do it, and you don't have the additional infrastructure, or maybe you don't have the on-prem support for your Azure infrastructure, Cloud PC is a great way to go. We're going to go ahead and choose Connect here. Let's connect and see if we've got a Windows 10 interface and kind of inspect it. All right, notice in this session it's asking me, hey, do you want to use any of these devices or features, right? So it's asking you if you want to use some of these local features here. So keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead, in some of the advanced settings here, you can see high dots per inch DPI, hardware acceleration, and if I wanted to, an alternate keyboard layout. So it is going to give us access to the local resources here. I'm going to go ahead and just leave this checked in case we have some future demonstrations on this. I want other learners, such as you wonderful learners out there, to be able to enjoy learning about Cloud PC. All right, so let's see. Hopefully we can sign in. I do not want to add that to the browser, and we are connected, and it's asking me if I want to allow the camera here. I'm going to go ahead and say, you all don't need to see me. All right, now it wants to know my location, right? So there's a lot of permissions that you have to check here. Make sure your location services are enabled in your Cloud PCs privacy settings. So a couple things that we're doing here right off the bat here. Let me go ahead and close these little pop-ups down. Keep in mind we also have, kind of like in an RDP session, we have our some of the global actions that we can perform here, right? Feedback, you can see the connection information here too as well if I want to see the details, right? A lot of good information that you can see when you're utilizing Cloud PC. You can also see timestamp information, activity ID. We do have the ability to upload files if we've given it access to the local resources in that configuration here. And you can see even some of the configurations that we talked about initially can be configured after the fact too. Let's see here. Some more great information here too, right? So if you need to capture the logs, support logs, very easy way to do this. You've got support ID, session identifiers. You've got file transfers as well that you can perform, and even some keyboard shortcuts, right? And then we can see the account profile for the user that is logged in, right? So again, what it's doing here for the first time is this is just like any kind of post-installation of your Windows 11 operating system. So when you're deploying it, if you log into the machine for the first time, it's taking that default profile folder and it's copying it and it's applying my username to it, and that's going to become essentially my home directory where my files are stored and all of my settings. So here we have an interface. Let's see what operating system we have. We're going to go ahead and right click on the start icon. We're going to choose system here. All right, and we'll expand out our system settings here. And notice what we have. We have access to Windows 11 Enterprise. You can see the latest 24H2, right? And when it was installed, the great thing about this is I don't have to manage the image. This image is managed and maintained by Microsoft. All I have to do is basically SaaS, right? This is Windows as a Service, WAAS, right? Think of your software as a service, right? Everything is really abstracted. There are, again, some things that we can do here, right? Like we could also set this up to be enrolled into the Microsoft Intune platform, and we can manage it after the fact as well. But you can see we have a full-blown Windows operating system here. We're running on an AMD processor, which is interesting. I want you to think also about when we think about cross-compatibility. So here's an AMD processor. And let me just minimize my screen here, and let me get to my local system. And I think you all probably remember, if you've been here, seen some of the other demonstrations, I'm running Intel. Right, so this is the other great thing about this, when we talk about cross-platform compatibility, right? I'm viewing this, let me enter full screen again, I'm viewing this through the browser, right? And I can see the name here too, generic name, right? So Cloud PC, CPC, dash, and the first few letters of my username here too. And I don't know if this is randomized, honestly, like a variable that's attached to it. Probably is, and it gives you unique names through across all your deployments too. Keep in mind that, again, you can, just like you could do on the local machine, right? If you wanted to rename the PC, you could do that. I'm going to go ahead and say no to this, because I don't want to put in my administrative username and password. But there you have it. And one of the great things is, we can just turn around here. We can right-click on the start icon. A couple different options: sign out, disconnect. Right, disconnect is going to keep your session running. It'll maintain that persistence, and then you can connect back to it. Signing out is going to do exactly that. It's going to close down your session. So think about your common RDP connection, right? If I just close down the remote connection software, right, well, that's going to leave me logged into the system, and it's going to save my session settings, unless there's a reboot of the machine. So that's like your disconnect. If I sign out in the RDP interface, then what I'm doing is closing my remote session. So I want you to think that's the same thing here. Is we are going to sign out of this Cloud PC. Right, and notice that it says we are now disconnected. But there you have it. That is how you can deploy Windows 11, right, in your modern networks. And this is one of the modern deployment methods that we've seen compared to a lot of the work that we have to do with some of the more traditional on-prem stuff with the Windows Assessment and Deployment Kit. Right, it's a very, very convenient Windows as a service. Deploy Windows 7 in the cloud, or Windows 7. Better not be Windows 7. Windows 11. In the cloud as well.